the stumbling block actually for our children to feel the full implementation of the law is the fact that access and availability of quality child protection services are not as present, especially in local communities. But there has been much improvement in the past few years. So for instance, we have the child protection units embedded in regional hospitals. We have more trained frontliners in the hospitals that report and record and refer these cases. But what we need to see are those in the community that would be able to, one, recognize violations of the rights of children. So this means identification of issues. That's number one. Number two is that they would have the agency and competency to report to where. And those that report, those agencies that receive these reports must have the wherewithal to undertake correct case management, to record and document these cases, and finally, to refer to the correct specialists to be able to provide these children victims and their families timely and immediate support. So that in itself means that local government units where social services are devolved must be able to factor in their budget and planning these requirements, so that not only do you have the necessary equipment and referral mechanisms, but you have frontline child protection workers that are able to recognize and report these cases.
Attorney Ardivilla, of course, we started our conversation basically focusing on everything else, basically with the message that it's beyond the law. I mean, there are things that we need to do. But Absolutely. We are on this day, in fact, commemorating and celebrating the fact that there has been an improvement in the law. So I want to focus on that for now. Just raising the age of sexual consent from 12 to 16. Talk about that. How big of a difference maker is that?
This is huge. It's a fantastic legislative milestone that the government and whole of society in the Philippines should be able to celebrate. Bear in mind that as early as 2005 and 2009, the UN Committee on the Rights of the Child have actually recommended very strongly to the Philippine government as a state party to the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child that the government should review the laws, because aside from the very low age of sexual consent or the age to determine statutory rape, we are also, the legal regime at the time also did not look very favorably on boy children, in that equal protection was not afforded, meaning the perpetrators of rape of boy children meted actually lower penalty than that of girl children who have been victimized by their perpetrators. So the UN Committee on the Rights of the Child even said that this should not be tolerated. Discrimination is unjustified. Violence is violence. So as early as 2005 and 2009. Yeah. So it has been a very long process of having to also convince and shed light on these deficiencies and gaps in the law, because we have actually encountered in the past tentativeness on the part of Congress that there is already so many laws in place. But what we see is that if we do not identify a law as a source of normative behavior, of standards that regulates behavior of every member of the society, then we essentially say that one can have sexual congress with a child as young as 12. And this should not be tolerated.